Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and how you guys doing? Honestly, how you guys doing in this rough time? I personally am trying to get through this, and you know what, guys, things are really uncertain right now. I'm trying to do everything that I can to not be ungodly bored. Yes, I have a lot of shows to watch. Yes, I have a lot of movies to watch, but there's only so much I can do of that. So you know what? I figured that because it's actually been a while, why don't I just take this time and just give you guys an update on my Blu-ray collection, because it's been a while since I've done it. I believe the last one was 2017, and it's, as you guys can see, it's really grown since then. It's so full. There's a lot of titles to get through. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to talk about in this video, and I also figured, you know what, you guys have like 3 hours to spare, probably. We're all just kind of cooped up inside right now, so as usual, while this is definitely going to be long, I feel like just one of the rare times where it's actually going to be beneficial to you guys, because you guys have the time to watch this entire thing. But whatever, this video is probably going to be filmed over a period of days, because there's a lot of titles to get through, and I don't want to do it all in one day or anything like that. But we're just going to get into it. I'm not going to go through each one of them separately. Some of them I might tell a little story about, but I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible, because, like I said, there's a lot of Blu-rays here, and I can't come up with a story for every single one, so only select titles that will happen with. Also, if you guys will notice, in my last Blu-ray collection video, I had the Criterion separate. I've bought a lot of Criterion since then, so I basically just put them with my whole collection. It just gives me a lot more room and things like that. But, I'm not going to delay this any further. We're just getting to right now, starting off with the first movie. Alright, guys, so here we are. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff here, as I said before. There's a lot of titles to get through. And there's a lot of stuff to get through, so we're just going to get into it right now. Like I said, there's a lot of movies on the shelf, actually, that I actually haven't seen before. Starting off with this first one in 310 to Yuma. Definitely one I'm going to watch soon. 8 Mile, yet another one that I haven't seen in a long time, that I definitely, I've been wanting to watch this one a lot, actually, especially ever since Eminem performed on the Oscars. I've really been kind of like craving to watch this one, so I think I'm going to do that soon. Now we get to one I have seen, 10 Cloverfield Lane, fantastic movie. 12 Years a Slave. 1917, my most recent purchase. 21st Century Women, 21 Jump Street, and 22 Jump Street. These are just, like, if you guys want really fun comedies to watch during this quarantine, I can't recommend these enough. I feel like watching them both pretty much all the time. I think they're just the definition of how to take a really cheesy, like, TV show and just find a way to, like, do your own thing. These are definitely the right kind of films for that. Just one of the funniest, and then one of the best, I think, comedy sequels. Just a match made in heaven. Can't recommend these enough, as I have many times before. This great pack of 2001 Clockwork Orange and The Shining, which, yes, I did play the 2001 music before this video. Don't copyright me, YouTube, even though you will. About Time. The Accountant, which I was planning on watching this before the way back, and it just didn't happen. But you know what? Now this quarantine's a thing. I think I'm finally going to watch it. I've had a poster for this for years, and I still haven't even finished it yet. So that's wonderful. The Adjustment Bureau. Anchorman 2. Still got to pick up Anchorman, actually. I don't know why I don't own that one, because, I like Anchorman 2, but Anchorman's a lot better. Adventures of Tintin. Aladdin. The only one. There's only a cartoon Aladdin, okay? You're gonna hear me say that a lot, but there's only a cartoon Aladdin, okay? The live action one was just a fever dream. That's all it was. Oh shit. It's probably not the first time that's gonna happen. The Alfred Hitchcock Masterpiece Collection, as I say all the time, I don't even remember buying this, because, well, it just randomly showed up at my house one day. I don't know how I got it, but in all seriousness, that's probably one of my favorite things in my collection still. The Alien 6-film collection, which, again, as you guys know, I've only seen Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3. I might finally watch the other ones sometime soon, especially since I haven't seen Alien Covenant. And yeah, Prometheus I've seen a good portion of. I just never finished it, but I think I'm gonna watch these soon, definitely, so I can just say I've seen them all. All Is Lost, Alita Battle Angel, my favorite film of all time that obviously I'm going to give a little bit more attention to, all that jazz. Look, I've said for years that, like, Gone with the Wind was my favorite and Meet Me in St. Louis, but I don't know, man, just something about watching this last year, finally sitting down to rewatch it, it impacted me in a way that it didn't before. I was already very impacted by it, but watching it a second time especially, just really made me realize how special of a film this really is. This is really one of those films where, it's about a man who is so dedicated to his passion, it takes precedent over basically everything else in his life. And no, he's not a good guy, and yes, he's made a lot of bad decisions, but we relate to the main character because a lot of us are like that, where we have that one passion that just drives at us, and so because of that, it takes over our lives, and you can see how that's turned out for Joe Gideon, and I just think this film is just extraordinary. I can't praise it enough. Not enough people talk about it. I think Roy Scheider's best performance. I love his performance in Jaws, but his performance on here is just unreal. I think about it constantly, and just that ending, man, oh my god, one of the best ever. Just my favorite movie. I don't think I need to get into it anymore. A favorite movie of all time, definitely. I mean, again, it's taken me a while to really come to that conclusion, but really think about it, I really do think this is probably my favorite film. It's always hard for me to do like a, top 10 or top 15, but I know for sure that All That Jazz is definitely number one. This double pack of American History X and A History of Violence, which I still actually haven't seen A History of Violence. I should probably get around to that soon, but American History X is definitely a classic. American Made. Annabelle Creation, one of the most surprising sequels of all time, especially since, the second one sucked. Or the first one, I mean. And the sequel that I actually did really enjoy, Annabelle Comes Home. I know this one's kind of polarizing, but I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was a little, fun little sequel. My favorite film of the last decade, Anomalisa. If you guys haven't seen this, check it out immediately. This is a film that I feel like just should be way more talked about than it was. It's very special, it's very different, it's not for everyone. I know people that fucking hate this film, but I can't get enough of it. I watched it 2 times last year, actually, with friends, and both times it just hit me just how deep and complex of a film it really is, and how much I really do love it. Annihilation. Oh. Keeps fucking happening. Ant-Man and Ant-Man the Wasp, and they just recently announced that Ant-Man 3 is coming, and hope that's really good, because I actually like both of them. Antichrist, one of the weirdest fucking movies I've ever seen, but also probably one of the most unique, and one that I don't ever feel like, oh, I want to rewatch this like right now, but it is definitely a film that I'd like to watch again just so I can, maybe get into why I like it so much. Apocalypse Now Final Cut. This is the 4K that came out, and I still gotta watch this, actually. It's like a 6-disc set, and I've just heard that this is like the cut that you're supposed to watch, and I've been wanting to watch Apocalypse Now for a little bit. I might finally do that for like Memorial Day or something this year. I don't know, but definitely love that one. Apollo 13. Arrival. Arthur Christmas, one of the only good, like, Christmas movies to come out in, like, the last few years. Not saying the only, but one of. The Avatar Extended Blu-ray Collector's Edition, which, I think I'm going to finally take a look at this soon, because Avatar 2 is going to be coming out, and, I've said for years I really can't stand that movie, but you know what, I think I'm going to finally take a look at it. All of the Avengers movies, Avengers, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, and of course Endgame. Ultron, I do think, is still the weakest, but it's one of those films where even though I do think it's vastly less superior to these three, I still do find times where I want to watch it just because it is a really fun film, but these three, this is where it's at for sure. I mean, Endgame especially. I really just don't think the MCU is ever going to be able to replicate what they did here. I mean, it's just it's absolutely masterful, and you know, I'm all for them continuing the MCU. I like the fact that they're, you know, building things, but if they were to stop here, I would be completely fine with that, just because the way they wrap things up, it's just absolute perfection, man. Just, you could have changed some things around, and it actually would have been, I think, a really satisfying conclusion. But, you know, that's not what they wanted to do, so it's fine. Baby Driver, which the second one's coming out soon. We'll see how that is. I really don't know how that's going to be, because it's not a film that I really see being a franchise, but, I mean, I guess we'll see. I have faith in Edgar Wright, you know. One of my favorite things I own for sure, the Back to the Future Complete Adventure Collection. I fucking love this set. You can never go wrong with these films. Obviously I love the first one, but the second and the third I think are really great too. The third especially I feel like is really underrated. So yeah, just a great set for sure. One that every film collector should have. Badlands, another Criterion, one of many Criterions that I still got to see, and also a Malick film I have to see, because I really actually haven't seen that many from him. Bad Times at El Royale, Bambi, Barry Lyndon, all of the Dark Knight films, which, again, I love this trilogy, and I'm excited to see how the Batman's gonna be. I don't see it topping this trilogy ever. This is one of the, I think, the most satisfying and just perfect trilogies out there. Again, while I'm excited for the Batman, I don't see it topping these films, like, at all. I don't think it's possible. Hey, if it does, it does. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Batman Ninja, which I really gotta watch. I was meaning to watch this, actually, in 2018, and I never got to it, but I think I'm gonna finally watch it this year. We'll see. And then the one I have seen, Batman vs. Two-Face. Beauty and the Beast, and the live-action remake. I know, it gets a lot of hate, but you know what? I enjoy this one a lot, actually. I think this is the perfect way of taking a film that is already pretty much perfect and finding ways to do something a little different with it. And honestly, I find myself in the mood to watch really both of them. Obviously, this one is better, but I feel like this one gets a lot of unnecessary hate, and I don't really get it. I feel like there's other live-action remakes to really get upset about, and I feel like Beauty and the Beast is not one of them. I just don't really get the hate for it. But one of my absolute favorite things in my collection now, especially finally watching them, the Before trilogy, I can't recommend these enough. This is absolutely the way to portray a long-lasting romance. It's one of the most realistic portrayals you'll ever see. Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy just at the top of their game, just absolute perfection, man. I can't recommend those enough. And funny enough, they actually just talked about, I think, doing a fourth one, and even Ethan Hawke said, like, he doesn't really see where else it can go, and I'd very much agree. I don't really see how else you could really follow that up, especially with just how perfect of a trilogy it already is. Ben-Hur, which I'm probably going to watch soon, considering that Easter's coming up. There's only 2 films here. This is not a trilogy. It says triple feature, but you know what? It's really misleading, because there's only Beetlejuice and Corpse Bride. There's nothing here. There's no other film in this thing. This is a misleading cover. It's a double feature. There's nothing else here. Okay, if we can just accept that is just a double pack, then all will be right in the world. Well, I don't know about that, because the world's kind of in crisis right now, but at least the world will be just a little bit better than it is. Bicycle Thieves, Big Hero 6, which, yes, I still still have to watch this. I remember back in 2017 when I made that stupid bet with like Tony and the guys of like, oh, if I don't watch, if I don't watch this before this series, I'm going to watch The Star. And obviously you guys know I saw The Star in theaters, and still to this day I have not seen Big Hero 6. This is like one of the only Disney animated films, like one of the most recent ones, that I haven't actually seen. So I might have to rectify that soon, because I've wanted to watch that one for a while. I don't know, I've just never gotten around to it. The Big Sick, which I'm praying that The Lovebirds is a really good film, because this is just absolute this is a really great film. Michael Showalter's directing is just, it's just really great here, and I'm just really hoping that The Lovebirds is at least somewhat on par with that. Billy Madison, one of the best comedies of all time. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Absolute comedy gold. Just Adam Sandler just acting like the most obnoxious, student of all time, and him singing opera for no reason, and him shitting on people's doorsteps. Just, you gotta love this Adam Sandler goodness, honestly. I don't care. It's always going to be one of my favorite comedies. I can't get enough of that one. Birdman. Black Klansman, which I'm really excited for Spike Lee's next film, Defy Bloods. I think that's going to be really great. Black Mass. Black Panther, which they just recently announced Black Panther 2, so not recently, they just announced that, of course, it's coming out and its release date, so hope that's really great. Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, both fantastic sci-fi films, both some of the best of all time, and honestly, I feel like this one is probably going to be just as classic as the original. I could definitely see that happening for sure. I feel like it's already gotten enough of an appreciation where I could definitely see both of these films being like, staples of their genre in that way. The Blind Side, which I know it gets a lot of hate, but I enjoy it, okay? It's cheesy, yes, but I like it. Blockers. Blue is the Warmest Color. Body of Lies and Three Kings, neither of which I've seen, so I might have to do that soon. If only this thing would close. Boogie Nights. Booksmart. Born on the 4th of July, which I saw a comment recently on a Facebook post that talked about how, like, Tom Cruise, like, as a dramatic actor just isn't really that great, and, like, it's your opinion, I get that, but, like, I don't know how you watch this movie and tell me that Tom Cruise is not a great actor. Couldn't be me, man. Couldn't be me. Boyhood. Alright, here we go. The Bourne trilogy, none of which I've seen. I still have not, to this day, watched these films. I know, it's crazy. Every single year I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch the Bourne trilogy. It just never happens, but I think since Paul Greengrass has a movie coming out later this year, I think I'm going to finally get round to these, because it's about time, honestly. And just for shits and giggles, I do also have The Bourne Legacy, because I probably am going to watch that one as well. I do not own Jason Bourne yet, but I definitely will watch that one whenever I watch the other ones, obviously. Braveheart. Brawl in Cell Block 99. Brazil. Bridesmaids. Bridge of Spies. Brigsby Bear, which I gotta say right now, this is one of the most undeserving, like, Blu-ray releases that I've seen in a long time. Like, this is so bare bones, and just, the cover's, like, not even that representative of, like, the movie itself, and just, it breaks my heart just how little people have seen this movie. It's such a special movie in that way, and I feel like just more people should really talk about it. When I always talk about, like, underrated films, I always go back to Brigsby Bear, because I just feel like this is a film that has never really gained the appreciation that it should. And it sucks too, because I feel like Kyle Mooney, like, if this film had a lot more appreciation, he'd be doing a lot more stuff, not just like SNL and bit roles. He'd actually be doing like a lot more, roles like this, and I really wish he would, because this is just, This is one of the best of last decade for sure. Don't want to get too much into it, but just what it has to say about like childhood and nostalgia and things like that. It's just really struck a chord with me. I always get upset that not a lot of people talk about this one. I feel like it should be a lot more appreciated than it really is. Brooklyn, Bumblebee, one of the only Transformers films I own, by the way. Burning, Cabin in the Woods, Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam. I mean, look, I really don't like Disney Channel now, but this is childhood right here, okay? I can't there's some films in my collection that are really stupid, but you know what? I don't care. I haven't seen this in a long time, and I'm gonna always keep this just for the meme, you know, just so I can say I own it on Blu-ray for some reason. I don't know why I need that movie on Blu-ray, but I own it on Blu-ray. Captain America: The First Avenger, The Winter Soldier, and of course Civil War. One of the best trilogies, probably the best of the probably the best of the Marvel trilogies out there. Considering each film really does get better as it goes on. Captain Phillips, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Carol, Casablanca, one of my absolute favorites for sure. Look, I know it's a classic. I know it's been talked about to death, but it's just there are very few films that I feel like are as perfect as Casablanca. It's one of those films where even when people say like, "Oh, it's old," I always tell them to watch it because I feel like it's just such an important film in that way, and I just wish it got. I wish it wasn't as looked down upon because it's been talked about to death. I feel like it's just such a great film, and it's always going to be one of my favorites. Casino got that Goatsese goodness. We'll see much more of him in this collection. We already have seen some of him, but that's just the start. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. A Christmas Story. Christopher Robin. That was the worst Pooh Bear impression you ever hear, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. The Chucky Complete 7 movie collection, which is really strange because this is probably one of the most inconsistent franchises out there. I really only like Child's Play, Bride of Chucky, and Cult of Chucky, but you know what? Some of those, you can't even really find, like, actual Blu-ray releases for them, so I just gotta keep this collection. I really love this design as well. I feel like we don't get enough of these, like, lenticular cases anymore, and it's just, I like it a lot, so that's why I keep this one. Cinderella, which, oddly enough, I don't own the original. I feel like I should, but you know what? The remake's pretty great, too. So I'm not complaining about that. I just, don't know why I don't have the original. Cloud Atlas. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Coco. Colossal. Alright, probably the most random film in my entire Blu-ray collection. I know I talk about this all the time, but Company of Heroes, still to this day, I have no idea what the fuck this is. I know it's a war movie, I know it's got some people I like, and that's about it. I think the meme's gonna finally end this year, guys, because I feel like I'm just gonna become so ungodly bored that I think I'm just gonna finally watch this one, just to see whatever the hell it is, because, that's what it's come to. That's what it's come to. The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. Not really sure how The Conjuring 3 is going to be honest. I don't really like the director that's involved, and I feel The Conjuring 2 kind of ended things in a way where we didn't really need anymore. But, I have enough faith in Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson that they'll make something, they'll make something good. They'll at least try to make something good, but I guess we'll see. Cowboys and Aliens. Crazy Rich Asians. Crazy Stupid Love. Creed. which I still have to pick up the second one, oddly enough. I don't know why I don't have that. Crimson Peak, one of the most underrated Guillermo del Toro movies. Definitely one of his best. No, it's not really a horror. It's much more of a gothic romance, but I don't care. I think it's fantastic. I think it's absolutely one of his best for sure. A Cure for Wellness. Okay. One of the most underrated Christmas films in years, Daddy's Home 2. I mean, look, there's a lot of films that I know gets a lot of hate. I'll never understand the hate for this film. I really just won't. It's a dumb, stupid Christmas movie, but I love it. I love it. I don't get the hate at all. Dallas Buyers Club. Deadpool and Deadpool 2. The Death of Superman, and I still gotta get Reign of Superman, actually, which, again, I didn't like as much, but I still really did enjoy that one. Deliverance, another classic that I own that I really gotta watch sometime. Probably will do that soon. One of the best things in the entire collection, this 3-pack of The Departed, Goodfellas, and Aviator, just 3 classics. Goatsese, you gotta love him. I've talked about this man enough. He's my favorite director for a reason, and just watch any of these 3 films, and you'll be able to tell why, because they're just, it doesn't get better than those. It really doesn't get better than those. The Deer Hunter, The Descendants, the only Descendants, by the way, not those stupid fucking Disney Channel movies. Despicable Me and Despicable Me 2. Still actually haven't seen the third one, which is funny because in my last Blu-ray collection thing I said I was going to watch the third one soon. I actually never got to it. I think I'm going to finally have to do that whenever Rise of Gru comes out, which allegedly is coming out next year. But I guess we'll see because everything keeps getting delayed. Detroit. Alright, here we go. Yeah, Die Hard, still to this day, have not seen these movies. Every single Christmas, I tell my friends, guys, I'm gonna finally watch these movies, and it just never happens. So yeah, I think I'm gonna finally get to these very soon, and A Good Day to Die Hard as well, because, well, I gotta have them all, and yeah, so I'm gonna finally get to those. I will get to those soon. You know, I got through the Before films finally. I gotta finally get through the Die Hard films as well, because I feel like I've been holding out for too long when it comes to those. Dirty Dancing, the only one, not the shitty remake. The Disaster Artist. Django Unchained. Double Indemnity. Doctor Sleep. Doctor Strange. Very excited for the second one, especially if Sam Raimi is as involved as I think he's going to be. Dog Day Afternoon. A Dog's Purpose, and I still got to pick up A Dog's Journey as well, which I also enjoyed. And Don't Breathe. Oh my god, guys, we're not even halfway through yet. There's still so many films here to still discuss, but we're going to try to get through this as quickly as I possibly can, because holy shit, I have a lot. I already knew I had a lot, but like doing this, I'm like, wow, I own a lot of movies. Alright, going on to the third shelf here. Dragged Across Concrete. Ah, fuck me. Dread. Drinking Buddies. All of these I haven't seen, except for Dragged Across Concrete, that one I have seen. Dune, which... Please, I know there's a lot of shit going on right now, but please, can this movie just come out this year? Just come out this year so I can finally watch this one and say I've watched it. You know, I'd rather not have to wait a year for that. Dunkirk, which, speaking of movies that I hope comes out this year, come on, Tenet. The Duff. E.T., classic film, obviously. The Edge of 17, one of the most, I think, overlooked of its kind. I really don't hear many people talk about this anymore, but for me, this is what started, like, the whole, like, resurgence of really great, like, you know, high school films. I think this one is really the first one of the bunch to do that. Edge of Tomorrow, which I really hope that sequel's coming soon, but we'll have to see. 8th Grade. Elysium. End of Watch. The Endless, which, funny story about this film. This was a film that, as you guys know, I had it on, like, my top 20 list at the end of the year. But I actually never reviewed it. You know, I saw the whole thing of it, and it was one of those movies where I never got around to watching it again. Might have to give it a rewatch soon, because I kind of want to do a video essay about this film. I feel like I don't do any video essays, but this is one that I kind of want to do one on, because I feel like I'd have some stuff to say here. Ender's Game, The Equalizer, and I do not have the sequel because it sucks. Eraserhead, Evita, Everybody Wants Some, a movie that I'm like the only person in my friend group that actually likes. The Expendables, which I don't have 2 or 3 because I haven't even seen the first one and I heard they're not good. Ex Machina, which really loving devs so far, guys. Really, this is the film that put Alex Garland on the map, and it's pretty crazy thinking about a time when he wasn't as big as he is now, because he's just been killing it recently. I love what he's been doing. Eyes Without a Face, another movie I was planning to do a review for and just never got around to, but this is an absolutely amazing film. It's very different than most of its kind, and it's one that I really do recommend you guys check out, because it's really special for sure. Definitely a hard watch, but definitely worth checking out. The Farewell, The Fault in Our Stars, The Favorite, Fight Club, Finding Nemo, classic, which I always tell the story about this. This was my first, like, theatrical film that I ever saw in theaters, so, I'm watching all the Pixar films currently, but this is maybe the most special out of all of them, because if it hadn't been Finding Nemo, I might not be as into movies as I am now. So this is the one that started it all, really. It's a big, very important film in that way. First Man, which I've actually heard Damien Chazelle is doing another space movie with Ryan. Well, I don't know if Damien Chazelle is doing it, but Ryan Gosling's doing another space film, and hopefully that one is more talked about than this, because holy shit was this film overlooked. First Reformed, another film that was really overlooked come Oscar season. The Fisher King. Justice League, The Flashpoint Paradox, the only Flashpoint Paradox movie we might ever get because, of recent happenings with Ezra Miller. Flight. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. The Francis Ford Coppola 5-film collection. I might actually get rid of this soon because obviously I have that Apocalypse Now thing. But I actually still haven't seen The Conversation, Tetro, or One from the Heart. So I think I want to do that before I decide if I'm going to get rid of this or not. The French Connection. Frozen, the only one. I do not own Frozen 2 because that movie was a big disappointment. The Fugitive. Full Metal Jacket. Fury, which is the reason I own that Company of Heroes movie, because this came with it, obviously. Furious 7, and Fate of the Furious. These are the only ones I own at the moment. I still have to, I was actually planning on getting this set with all the Fast and Furious movies, but then fucking F9 had to get delayed to next year, so we're gonna have to hold off on those. But look forward to me probably doing a series of all of them before F9, because I've only seen Furious 7 and Fate of the Furious in full. I know, I'm sorry. And Hobbs and Shaw, I've seen that one too, but I don't really count that one. Game Night. Get Out. Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Definitely going to rewatch these before Afterlife next year. A Ghost Story. Ghost World. Girls Trip. Movie that everyone thought Tiffany Haddish would be like this big thing after, and while she is, I don't think she's ever been quite as funny as she was in this one, really ever. Gladiator. Glass, which it's weird. I own Glass, but I don't own the film that precedes it. So that's a little strange to me, especially considering that that's the best of the bunch. Okay, nostalgia here. Glee the concert. We'll always love this. I know Glee is a very problematic show these days. People keep talking about, how it doesn't hold up and things like that. I don't care. It was a big part of my childhood and teenagehood and things like that. So I gotta have this one. Gotta have this one. The Godfather Collection, which I've finally seen the third one, and whew, that movie sucks. That movie's really, really not very good. Good Morning Vietnam. Godzilla King of the Monsters, a movie that only I like and nobody else. I still got to get the first one, actually. I like that one a lot more on a rewatch. Good Time. Gone Girl. Really hoping that we get to see Mank from David Fincher later this year, because I'm really excited for that one. I don't anticipate that's going to be delayed because it's a Netflix film, but, with all the delays going on, who even knows anymore? Gone with the Wind. No longer my favorite film of all time, but still one that I absolutely adore. It's probably one of the fastest moving, 4-hour movies you'll ever watch. Yeah, there are some things about it that are kind of problematic, but I still really love it a lot. I actually saw a screening of this last year, and it was definitely fun, but I also really didn't like it because there were, these younger people in the audience that just didn't really, I think, appreciate this film, which kind of sucks to me because it's definitely a classic. Grand Budapest Hotel, which probably going to get rid of this Blu-ray soon because I am definitely going to get the Criterion that's coming out. Very excited for French Dispatch as well. I'm going to watch all of Wes Anderson's filmography prior to that one. Gravity. One of those films that you just gotta have in your collection. It's kind of similar to Avatar. You gotta have it in your collection if you want to show off just how great it is. The Greatest Showman. Green Lantern Emerald Knights, still never seen this. The Green Mile and Forrest Gump, still, the hardest film to watch ever. I had to do, a report about this one in, my intro to film class in, freshman year of college, and I could barely even get through it, because it's a really, really hard film to watch. I love it a lot, but it's just not a film I can watch a lot. Guardians and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This one gets a lot of hate. Really don't understand why. I think this is one of the best MCU films we've had. It's so personal. It's so emotional. And it's far more character-driven than most of them. And excited to get Volume 3 whenever that comes out. It's probably going to be in 3 years now. But you know what? Who cares? I'm still excited for it. Hail Caesar. Hacksaw Ridge. Halloween, which I gotta say, the more I think about this film, the more I do not like it, but it is a film that I think I overall do still enjoy. I really gotta watch the other ones, though. I'm gonna watch all the other ones before Halloween Kills, which I'm really not that excited for, considering the way that this ends. It kind of felt like it was the ending, but I guess not. I mean, I guess we'll have to see how that one turns out, but I really don't know. Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, which never thought I'd say that I enjoy this more than the Gretel and Hansel we got this year, but you know what? This movie's really stupid, and I love it, so I can't dislike that one. Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day. That's not the right movie. Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. There we go. That's the correct film. Both really fun, really clever franchise for sure. Excited to see what the third one brings. This one still really surprised me with how fun it was. Wasn't expecting much from it, especially. Hardcore Henry. Okay, now I can pull out the right films. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. The Goblet of Fire. Or the Phoenix, which... Okay, pet peeve right now, guys. I hate when I order things from Amazon, and some of them come with slipcovers, and some of them don't. Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban have slipcovers, for example, but, Sorcerer's Stone doesn't, and Or the Phoenix does, and it just really, really grinds my gears, you know what I mean? Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows Part 1, and Deathly Hallows Part 2. So yes, I do own all the Harry Potter movies, and Sucks that I never got to finish that review series I was doing, but you know, the ginger didn't care about it that much, so it is what it is. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, really the only one you need. Don't really care for the sequel at all, and really not that excited for the third one. The Hate You Give, The Hateful Eight, which I tried to watch the extended cut of when I was going through all of Tarantino's films before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it just wasn't the same. It felt too long. It felt like there was stuff that was added. I feel like the theatrical cut is probably the best version. I really don't recommend watching that extended cut that much. It feels way too overlong to me. Hellboy and Hellboy 2. The only Hellboy films I have, because those are the only ones that exist, right? There were no other Hellboy films. There were no other Hellboy films. It's just those two. Hell or High Water. The Help. Hereditary, one of the scariest fucking movies of all time. The Hitman's Bodyguard, which I actually am kind of interested in seeing what they do with the sequel this year. Don't really know how that's going to turn out, but I guess we'll see. Home Alone and Home Alone 2, really the only ones you need. The other ones kind of suck. Horrible Bosses. Hotel Transylvania 1, 2, and 3. Really solid animated trilogy. Still very surprised at how much I did enjoy the third one. Wasn't really expecting much from it, but this is just the perfect kind of animated trilogy that isn't anything that deep, but are just a lot of fun to watch, and I definitely sometimes find myself in the mood to watch any of them. House. Now, this is another one that, if I were to do a video essay, it would definitely be for this film. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I've seen this movie back in, like, 2018. To be honest, I don't really have an opinion on it. It's so weird and out there. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. It's just a film I don't have an opinion on. I kind of want to do, like, a video essay about, like, why I didn't have an opinion on this film, but I'm definitely going to rewatch it before I do that. So look forward to that maybe sometime soon. I was going to do it in October, but you know what? I have the time, so maybe there'll be a video essay for this soon, because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, and 3. Really great animated trilogy for sure. One of the best out there, absolutely. Hugo, more Goatsay goodness. The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games Catching Fire, and The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, and those are all the Hunger Games movies I have, because the second part is not good. The Hurt Locker. I, Tonya. The Imitation Game. Inception. I don't know why all these keep falling. The Incredibles and The Incredibles 2. If Beale Street Could Talk, which is yet another film that I just don't understand why it didn't get more love when it was in the Oscars. I feel like this is one of those films that a lot more people should talk about, and they didn't, and that disappoints me because it's a really great film. Inglourious Bastards. Indiana Jones, The Complete Adventures. These are definitely out of order. I will fix that in the edit. I will make a mental note of that right now. Inside Llewyn Davis. Definitely a film I might actually watch soon because, again, you know, I have the time, so I might finally watch this one. I've been wanting to see that for a while. Insidious and Insidious Chapter 2. Still got to get the third one because I actually enjoy that one quite a bit. I think it's pretty underrated, honestly. The fourth one, I don't really have much interest to rewatch, though, sadly. Into the Woods. Interstellar. Definitely gonna, like I said, rewatch this soon because I'm gonna watch all of Nolan's films prior to Tenet, whenever that comes out. Hopefully this summer, but we'll see. The Intern. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, one of the best remakes of all time, no question. The Invisible Man Complete Legacy Collection, which I bought this before seeing The Invisible Man, and to be honest, I probably didn't even need to because the new Invisible Man is nothing like the Invisible Man in this, but I might check out the other ones soon because I actually really love the original. It's definitely cheesy. It's definitely more of a typical horror film, but it's pretty great for sure. Claude Rains especially is just, he is amazing in that film. The Iron Giant, which I finally watched this year, and it is every bit as good as everyone has said. Just very, very heartwarming animated film that we really do not get enough of, I think, these days. Definitely shows that there are other animation studios besides Pixar that can churn out really quality and heartwarming animated films. Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. Again, another trilogy that I think gets a lot of flack. Not really a fan of the second one, but it's not a film that I, dislike to the point where I don't want to own it anymore. I could definitely watch it, but 3 especially, I think, is really underrated, and I really do wish more people would talk about it. Inside Out. Isle of Dogs, again, gonna rewatch this one with every Wes Anderson movie when I do that before French Dispatch. It Chapter 2, which I really gotta rewatch. It Chapter 2 is another one of those movies where, the more I think about it, the more I don't like it, but I definitely do want to give it a rewatch soon, just for that reason alone, just to see if it still holds up. Like I think it will. It's a Wonderful Life, still the best Christmas movie of all time. Really does not get better than this one. The James Bond collection, which definitely I've been putting to good use a lot lately, but it also sucks because I started, I bought this back when No Time to Die was originally going to come out, and the intention was to watch every Bond film, and I still very much do plan to do that, but unfortunately I had to put this on hold for the time being, but excited to get back into these again, and look forward to my video I'm going to do with 22 Tiger Dude coming up, where we talk about all the Connery and Moore films, and spoiler alert, I do not like most of them. I'm just going to put that out there right now. I'm not a fan of quite a lot of those. This 3-pack I have of Jarhead, The Kingdom, and Green Zone, none of which I've seen, but maybe we'll do that soon, because, again, I have the time. Jaws, which I might actually be getting rid of this one soon, because they just announced the 4K, and while I'm not usually one to, double dip and things like that, that 4K cover is absolutely incredible, and I'll definitely take that over just, regular Blu-ray case, so might have to upgrade soon. Jean Dillman 23Q Day Commerce, whatever the fuck it's called, but yeah, that one. Joe. John Wick Chapter 2, and John Wick Chapter 3. Don't really know what they're going to do with the fourth one, to be honest. I didn't really expect for there to be a fourth one, but of course the way that Chapter 3 ended, I guess it makes sense to do a Chapter 4. I guess we'll see. I hope that's the last one, because I feel like if they go any longer than that, it's going to get really tiring after a while, but I guess we'll see how that one goes. Jojo Rabbit. Film Twitter's favorite film, Joker. Juice, which I, again, bought when All Eyes on Me was coming out and still haven't seen it. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and I still got to pick up the next level, but really enjoy that one too. The Jungle Book. Jurassic Park. The only one I own, because that is the only Jurassic Park movie. In all seriousness, I still gotta watch 2 and 3, actually, but that one is obviously a classic. Karate Kid, which I keep because I feel like I should rewatch it. I wasn't a fan of it when I saw it again, but I feel like I enjoy Cobra Kai so much, I might as well watch the original film again, because it's kind of weird how I enjoy that show, but not really the original film as much anymore, so I think I might do that soon. Kick-Ass, which is the only one I own now, because honestly, Kick-Ass 2 on a rewatch didn't really hold up. I hate to say it. I've defended that movie for a while, but I rewatched it last year, and it just did not really hold up in the way that I wanted it to. So, yeah, I don't own that one anymore. Killing of a Sacred Deer, one of the only Raffi Cassidy films that actually is as good as her. I wish she did more films like this, because recently she has not really been impressing me in terms of like what movies she's been picking. She's always the best thing about them, but again, I wish she picked better films. King of Comedy, more Goatsese goodness for sure. Definitely one of his best. King Kong, which I actually haven't seen. Kind of weird how I don't like Kong Skull Island, and I don't like the original, but the one that I own, I haven't even seen, which I think I'm going to finally do whenever Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, which will probably be in like 2022 at this rate. Kingsman: The Secret Service, again, the only one I have because the second one kind of sucks. Knives Out. Knocked Up, which I actually finally got around to watching Knocked Up last year, and oh my god, it's such a great comedy. Definitely, really happy I finally got around to this one. Krampus, a Christmas movie I mean to watch every year and just never have, so maybe this year I'll finally watch it. Kubo and the Two Strings. Kung Fu Panda 2, which, again, I still only own this one. I don't know why. I just never owned 1 or 3 on Blu-ray, and I feel like I need to fix that soon, because this is definitely the best of the bunch, but I love 1 and 3 as well, and it's kind of weird that I don't have those, so might have to do that soon. Labyrinth. Lady and the Tramp. Lady Bird. La La Land, still pissed that did not win Best Picture, even though I love Moonlight, that still should have won. Last 5 years, still the film that I've like watched the most in my life. I don't know what it is about this film. It's not even my favorite of 2015, but I find myself watching it a lot. Watch it pretty much every Valentine's Day. It gets watched at least once a year, I can tell you that. At least once a year. Lego Movie and Lego Movie 2, which gets a lot of hate, which I really don't understand, because yes, it's definitely a lot more colorful. Yes, it definitely has childish elements, but I think it's about as deep as the first one. The message in this is really great, and I wish more people talked about it, because I think it's a really great film. And the Lego Batman movie. Do not own Ninjago, which I do enjoy, but I don't really ever feel like I have a reason to rewatch the one, which is why I don't own it. Leon the Professional. One of the only Luc Besson films that I actually really fucking love. I don't like Luc Besson that much, but that's probably his best film for me. Les Mis, directed by everyone's favorite director right now. Gotta rewatch that one soon. Life of Pi, another one that like every Blu-ray collector should have, just because of how visually stunning it is. The Lighthouse. The Lion King, which, once again, the only Lion King. There is no remake. There is no remake. There's just this film. That's it. The Little Mermaid, which, of course, I own illegally, as I always say. Little Shop of Horrors, the director's cut. Interested in what they're going to do with that remake with Taron Egerton, just because, like, you know, I'm wondering what route they're going to take. I don't know if I'm for it necessarily, but Taron is a really good choice, and we'll see how that turns out.
You're gonna hate me because it's many days later, but I literally just got this one, and you know, I figured since I'm doing like a Blu-ray collection thing, might as well include it. Little Women, hate the cover, but great movie, excited to watch it, and yeah, own this now, so that this will be included even though it's days later. Transition.
Locke. One of the only good, maybe the only good thing that Stephen Knight has done. Logan, obviously one of the best comic book films. You've heard everyone say that. I don't need to go on about that one any longer. The Lord of the Rings Extended Edition trilogy, which I still have to finish. Return of the King. I know. I will get to that soon because I've put that one off for far too long. Lone Survivor. Long Shot, Looper, which I was planning to watch before Knives Out and just never did. Might have to watch that soon. Love and Mercy, Love, Simon, which Disney thinks isn't kid friendly for some reason because you know they're low key homophobic. The Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Road Warrior, and of course the crown jewel, Mad Max Fury Road. Really excited for that Furiosa movie. I know Anya Taylor-Joy just got casted. Excited to see how that turns out. I feel like there's a lot you can do with that for sure. Madagascar 3, another one of those cases where this is the only one I own, but I also really enjoy the second one. Not too big on the first one, but definitely this is the best of the bunch, so I'm happy to at least own this one. Still find it weird how Nicholas Stoller wrote that film, though. The Magnificent Seven, which still gotta watch. The Man with No Name trilogy, which all of which I've seen except for a few dollars more, so I think I'm gonna do that soon. Manchester by the Sea. Mandy, a film that I adore, but everyone else in my group fucking hates. So, yeah, that's that. The Martian, the extended edition. Because you gotta have the extended one, I guess. The Marx Brothers Silver Screen Collection, which definitely because I have the time, I'm probably going to look over all of these soon. I've only seen Animal Crackers and some of Duck Soup, but the others I really got to watch. Mary Poppins and Mary Poppins Returns, which again gets a lot of hate, just like a lot of these movies I talked about, and I really don't understand it because I think it's almost just as, if not, it's just as delightful, really, as the first one, and I don't really get the hate at all, but you know, it's all good. Maze Runner: The Death Cure, the only one that really I think is worth owning because that film is pretty great compared to the other ones. McFarlane's USA. Now, this one I actually just started going through yesterday, and that's the Mel Brooks collection. I got this last year. I've only seen Young Frankenstein in full. I've seen parts of Spaceballs, but I figured, you know what? I got a lot of time on my hands, so I think I'm going to finally go through his entire filmography. I do find it weird that, like, The Producers is not included in this, because that's one of his most popular, but I had to rent that one. I'm currently watching it right now. It's absolutely hysterical. Definitely lives up to the hype. But definitely will be going through these very soon. Very excited to do that. The Men in Black trilogy, and that's the only one I own because the fourth one doesn't even feel like a Men in Black film. Mid-90s, one of the best, I think, portraits of, like, 90s childhood that you could possibly see. Really, this one just does not get talked about enough. Midsummer. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, which I feel like I really got to rewatch this soon. The first time I watched it, I thought it was just like a really fun comedy, but might have to give this one a rewatch at some point. Miracle on 34th Street, one of the best Christmas films just ever. Always in the mood to watch that one. Misery. Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible 2, which I don't like, but I own for some reason, even though I'm not a completist, or at least claim not to be. Mission Impossible 3. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and Mission Impossible Fallout, which really thought was going to be the last one, but they just announced there were going to be, well, not just, they announced a while ago that there were going to be 2 other sequels, so we'll see how that turns out. I don't really know how they could possibly top the previous film, but I guess we'll see what happens, because there's still some stuff they could do, I guess, but I guess we'll see. Moana. Molly's Game. Monsters, Inc., and Monsters University, which, again, gets a lot of hates, and I really don't get it at all, especially considering how it does a really good job of, you know, showcasing their friendship and things like that, but it's all good, it's all good. Monuments Men. Moon. Moonlight. Which, I love Moonlight as well. I know I keep saying La La Land should have won, but I really do love Moonlight a lot. It definitely did deserve to win Best Picture. It's just, I had this rivalry going on with my friend, with my best friend, and I just really wish that La La Land would have won, just so I could have won that bet. But it's all good. I still love Moonlight a lot. Moonrise Kingdom, which again, really got to get the Criterion for. I love this cover a lot, but the Criterion came out, so might have to upgrade soon. And Mr. Holmes. It's a bunch of days later, and we're still not left, guys. We're still not done, guys. There's still a bunch left here to do, so we're gonna keep going here. Mud. Mulholland Drive, probably my favorite Lynch film. Not saying a lot because he's made a lot of films I really do adore, but if I really had to think about it, this is probably the one I think about the most. It's definitely the one that had the biggest impact on me, and when people think about, like, what David Lynch film do I need to watch, I always recommend this one first. Probably my favorite Lynch film. This is a double pack of Muppet Treasure Island and Great Muppet Caper, which I've said it before, but Great Muppet Caper is incredibly underrated. It's probably one of the funniest Muppet films we've ever seen. It's honestly probably one of my favorite comedies, and I can't recommend it enough. It's the perfect example of how to change up a formula, but also retain what worked in the previous film, and I think they did that in spades here. Definitely one of my favorites, and Muppet Treasure Island's fun too. I enjoy that one. The Muppets and Muppet Most Wanted, which this one gets a lot of hate, and I don't get it because it feels like a classic Muppet movie. This one is definitely, I think, my favorite out of all the Muppet films, but this one's fun too. I definitely enjoy it. National Treasure, and I do not own the second one because I haven't finished it. Another film I haven't finished, Nebraska. Still, to this day, I never finished this. I don't know why. I never did. Neighbors. The New World. Oh, it's backwards. The New World, which this is not damaged. It got stuck to something, and this is like residue from like the thing it was stuck to. The cover itself is not damaged, just so you know. I'm not that careless when it comes to Blu-rays. Some of them might get beat up, but I'm not that careless. The Nice Guys. Kind of sucks that we're never going to see a sequel to that, but The Night Before, incredibly underrated Christmas film with Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Anthony Mackie. Really wish this one got talked about more. Lots of fun. Nightcrawler. One of the most underrated films of last year, The Nightingale. Saw this in a theater, was almost the only one there, and really wish more people had seen this one. Yeah, it's definitely a difficult film to watch, as I've said before, but it's one of the most effective, it's definitely one of the most engrossing, and it's one I highly recommend checking out. I think it's really great for sure. If you can get past the really disturbing subject matter, I think it's of the highest recommendation. Nightmare Before Christmas. No Country for Old Men, which I still gotta watch, actually. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Ouija, Origin of Evil, the only one I own because I actually refused to watch the first one. Oz the Great and Powerful. Paddington and Paddington 2, and my OCD comes back because there's no slipcover for this, and I don't understand why, even though I got them from the same place. Probably one of the rare Blu-rays I own because I have Parasite, but this is before it won Best Picture, so it says just Palme d'Or and Certified Fresh. It doesn't say, it doesn't talk about the Oscars it won and things like that, and I'll probably end up I don't think I want to get rid of this, though, because like I said, it is very rare. I'm definitely going to get the Criterion when it comes out, obviously. I'm very excited for that one. But I do really love this Blu-ray a lot, despite it being incredibly bare bones. Just the rarity of it all is definitely a reason to keep it, because I feel like this will be worth something one day. Patriots Day, definitely the best of the Wahlberg films, and I think it says a lot that there hasn't been a good one since, because they really peaked with this one, I think. Paranorman. Passion of Joan of Arc, which I've actually been thinking about watching soon, especially since they showed like a clip of it in devs, and I think I kind of want to watch this one. All right, next batch here we got Perks of Being a Wallflower. Definitely one of the best high school films out there. Even though Ezra Miller's kind of a creep right now, but it's all good. It's all good. I can look past that. Phantom Thread. The Philadelphia Story. Philomena, both of which I haven't seen. Pinocchio, which I have seen. Classic film. Alright. Pirates of the Caribbean 1, 2, and 3. Still got to get the 5th one, because I actually really enjoyed that one. But the 4th one, like I said, not a big fan of, as you guys know. Pitch Perfect 1 and 2, the only ones, because I like to pretend that third movie did not happen. It did not happen. Place Beyond the Pines, a movie that everyone should watch in, like, high school and things like that. Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping. Predestination. A movie I still, to this day, have not finished, The Princess Bride. I don't know what's wrong with me. I watched this in, like, a science class in, like, 7th grade. I don't know why we watched it in science class. I think, like, the teacher was absent or something one day, but I never got around to finishing this one, and I think I should finally do that, because it's been too long, I know. I will finish this soon. Princess and the Frog. Prisoners. A Quiet Place, and thankfully, Quiet Place Part 2 finally does have a confirmed release date. It's coming out in September, and hopefully they're doing that double feature as well, because I actually never got to see this one in, like, IMAX or Dolby, and I was really looking forward to going to the double feature of that, so hopefully they're still doing that once, once this is all done. The Raid Collection, 2 amazing films, but just a warning, if you ever watch the first one, just please check your settings, because when I first watched this one, it was the dubbed version, and it sounded like shit, so just be very cautious about that, because, Blu-rays like to fuck you over in that way. Rango. Ratatouille. Ready Player One. One of the most effective films I've ever seen, Requiem for a Dream. Oh my god. The last 20 minutes are insane. Reservoir Dogs. A film I still have not finished to this day because it's just so hard to get through. Revolutionary Road. This is one of those films I feel like I gotta be in the right mood to watch it. It's Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio arguing constantly, and it's craziness. It's absolute craziness. I gotta finish that one still. Rise of the Guardians. The entire Rise of Planet of the Apes trilogy, Rise of Planet of the Apes, Dawn of Planet of the Apes, and War for Planet of the Apes. Interested in seeing what they're going to do with the new one. Don't really see the necessity of it, but, Disney thinks it needs to happen, so I guess go for it. I mean, I don't really trust Disney that much these days, but I guess we'll see. Robin Hood. Rocket Man, and I still do not understand why Taron Egerton was not nominated for this, because he was absolutely incredible. Rocky Horror Picture Show. A Blu-ray I legitimately never thought I would see the light of day, Roma. Just knowing that this actually got a Blu-ray I think is amazing. I'm really excited for when, like, Irishman and Marriage Story get their Blu-rays as well. I'm excited to hear those are also getting Criterions, and definitely will be on the lookout for that soon, because I really do love this Blu-ray a lot. I still gotta watch the documentary on here, which I heard is really insightful as well. Definitely one of Netflix's best for sure. If you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend getting the Criterion. Room. Ruby Sparks. Rush. Rushmore. The Sapphires. Which, going back to Rushmore, but actually, like I said before, I'm planning on watching all of Wes Anderson's filmography before Fresh Dispatch, so French Dispatch. I don't know why I can't talk today, but definitely will be taking a look at this one soon. Well, rewatching it soon because I've seen it before. Sausage Party. Saving Mr. Banks. Scarface, which Facebook apparently said I look like, even though I don't see the similarities at all, and I'm like the most non-violent person you'll ever meet, but it's all good, it's all good. Schindler's List, and I know, I need to get the new one. There's like a really bad ding here. I really do need to upgrade at some point, but you know what, I really love this Blu-ray a lot. The picture quality is still really good, and you know, whenever this is done, I'll probably end up finally upgrading, but I haven't yet. But obviously, phenomenal film. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and I actually own every single Edgar Wright movie now, finally. This was the one that I really needed, and thankfully, I have it now, so I can do that Edgar Wright marathon before Last Night in Soho, if that's still coming out this year, which I hope it is. Secretariat. Searching. Very excited for Run later this year, whenever that comes out. If that comes out this year, you gotta say that with everything. Oh my god. The Shape of Water. Double feature of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, which still gotta watch Hot Fuzz. I know. I still gotta watch Hot Fuzz. I've seen a good portion of it. I just never finished it for whatever reason. Alright. World's End. Oh my god, so many movies. The Shawshank Redemption. Shazam, you know, I'm gonna have to bend down here. Alright, the Sherlock Holmes double feature, none of which I've seen. Gotta watch those. The Shrek 4 film collection, even though I only like the first two, and Shrek the Musical, which will always hold a special place in my heart because it was the first Broadway musical I ever saw, and I don't know if I'd be as into Broadway without it. So always very special thing for me, and a lot of fun too. I think this one still very much holds up. Sicario, which I still actually have to get the sequel because I like that one a lot. But the first one's obviously the better one. Silence, one of Scorsese's, Goat Stacy's most underrated films, I think. Silver Linings Playbook. Silence of the Lambs. I got so many fucking movies, guys. Skeleton Twins. Snowpiercer, which I'm definitely going to finally watch this year, considering the TV show is coming out. Don't know how that's going to turn out, but I guess we'll see. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You know, I'm just gonna take all these out. Yeah, there we go. That works. That works a lot better. The Social Network. Sorry to Bother You. Sound of Music. Why is this stuck together? The Spectacular Now. Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. Do have to get the third one because I actually do enjoy that one. Spider-Man Homecoming. And Spider-Man Far From Home. Those are all the Spider-Man ones. And of course, you gotta have Into the Spider-Verse. That's a must-have for everyone, obviously. Split. Well, that's backwards. Split. And the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. I still, for some reason, don't own the first one on Blu-ray. I don't know why, but with Sponge on the Run coming out in July, which I think it's coming out then, hopefully, I think I'm going to finally try to get the first one, because I don't know why I only own this one on Blu-ray. I own the first one on DVD, just not on Blu-ray for some reason. I don't know why. Alright, just take this whole pile, whole thing. Boom, there we go. Alright, so much easier. Ugh. Spotlights. Spy. St. Vincent. Star is Born, which is the only one I have. I really need to get the Judy Garland one, but obviously one of the best remakes out there. Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Trek Beyond. Lindeloffian goodness, even though he only wrote one of them. But still, you know, it counts. The Star Wars original trilogy, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Star Wars The Last Jedi. Those are all the Star Wars movies I need to own. Steve Jobs, Straight Outta Compton, Stronger, Super 8, Suspiria, which is missing a cover for some reason, and I don't know why. Swiss Army Man, which, let's just turn my attention to this one for a second. I really don't get why more people don't talk about this film. This, for me, A24 is in a lot of stuff I love, but this is still probably their best film. It's so complex. It's so well-crafted. It's got two of the best performances, I think, of the last decade in Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe, and I'll never understand why that one doesn't get more love. I think it's so wholly original and different, and I wish more people talked about it, because I think it's a really special film. Tangled, Taxi Driver, Terminator, and Terminator 2. And similar to Star Wars, those are all the Terminators I need. Thank You for Your Service, The Thin Red Line, and This Is the End. Ugh, still so many more to go. Alright, 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri. Just take this whole thing. Ugh. Ugh, there we go. Alright. 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri. The Third Man. 3 Identical Strangers. The only Thor film I need, Thor Ragnarok, because it's the only good one. Great one, actually. Thoroughbreds. Trainwreck. Titanic. Time Bandits. Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, and Toy Story 4. Finally have all the Toy Story films on Blu-ray. For the longest time, I only had the third one, but I finally got the first 2 last year, and obviously I got Toy Story 4 last year as well. Training Day, Train Spotting, which I still need to finish for some reason, Tree of Life, the double pack of Tron and Tron Legacy, True Grit, Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, the only Twin Peaks movie, okay? I might have said in Twin Peaks The Return that it felt like a movie. It's not a movie. It's a mini-series. It's a limited series. This is a movie. It was in theaters worldwide. It's a movie, okay? Ugh. I get in debates with people with that all the time, and it pisses me off, right? I had to let that out. Unbroken, Uncut Gems, which, don't ask me what happened to this, but somehow it's like already falling apart. I don't know what happened. Under the Skin, Up, which is actually the first Blu-ray I ever purchased. Very special Blu-ray in my collection. I know it looks all beaten up and shit, but I'll never get rid of it, and I'll never upscale because it's the first one I ever got, and it's very, very nostalgic in that way, and it also very much holds up as well. And Unknown, which I've never seen. Alright, last few movies here, guys. I promise. We're almost done here. Alright. No, I'm gonna go on the floor for this one. There we go. Alright. Alright, I think you guys can see me. Let me move this chair. Ugh. Unstoppable. Us, Usual Suspects, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, literally one of the only Luc Besson films I actually like because I don't usually like him that much. I don't know what it is, not really a fan, but I like this one. The Voices, one of the most underrated Ryan Reynolds films out there. Really wish that one got talked about more. WALL-E, a film that I've vastly changed my opinion on. I used to not like this one that much, and now it's probably one of my favorite Pixar films for sure. Watchmen. The most overlooked film of last year, Waves. I have no idea why nobody talks about this film, but it's so effective. It's very different in that way, and can't recommend it enough. I know I can understand why some people hate it, but I love it so much. The way back, not the way back, the way back. We bought a zoo. West Side Story, and yeah, obviously it's in a bigger Blu-ray, but this is the actual Blu-ray thing it came in. Excited to see how the new one turns out. Don't know why we needed a remake necessarily, but you know what? It's welcomed. It's welcomed. Wonder Woman, the new one, and the cartoon. Where the Wild Things Are. What am I doing? I'm just sitting on the floor right now. Oh my god. You know, I'm just gonna sit in this chair. Fuck it. Alright. I'm gonna sit in this chair and we'll do it that way. Oh my god, Blu-rays everywhere. Whiplash. Widows. Wild at Heart. Wind River, Jesus Christ, I can't speak today. The Wizard of Oz, What Maisie Knew, The Witch, Wolf of Wall Street, another Goatsese goodness, one of his best. The Wolfman, which I was supposed to review, and I just never did, but yeah, great film. Definitely a classic for sure. And Wonder. Oh my god, still so many. Ugh. I don't know why I own so many movies. I love movies, but Jesus. Alright, these are the last few movies, but I do have a few more stuff that I want to show you. World War Z, Won't You Be My Neighbor, Wreck-It Ralph, and Ralph Breaks the Internet, which, again, similar to a lot of films I talked about, gets a lot of hate. I don't really get it, because I think it's pretty great, and I wish more people talked about it. The X-Men 3 film collection. X-Men First Class. Well, that's out of order. X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past. Again, the only X-Men films that I really need besides Logan, obviously. Alright, what's left? Oh. You Were Never Really Here. Again, a film that I can't praise enough. I'll never get why it didn't get more hype upon its initial release. Yes, it's really different. Yeah, it definitely can be similar to some films, but I think it's a fantastic mood piece. I think it has so much to say about, like, PTSD and loss and things like that, and just Joaquin Phoenix, man. The most overlooked performance of that year. I'll never understand why he didn't get more love for it, because I think he's absolutely incredible in that one. Zero Dark 30, Zodiac, Zoolander, and Zootopia. So, those are all the movies, but we're not quite done yet. We actually have a few TV shows to go through, so we're gonna do that. So first off, we have the first 2 seasons of American Horror Story. Don't know why I don't have the other ones, but for some reason I don't. I only have the first 2. Both great seasons. Actually, Asylum I still need to finish. I don't know why. I just never finished that one. But yeah, so there's that. The complete series of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I feel like everyone pretty much should have because this has been requested for a long time, and very happy to own this finally. Big Little Lies Season 1. Don't know why Season 2 wasn't released on Blu-ray, but whatever. Guess I won't get that one because I don't want to get it if it's not on Blu-ray. This set of the original Christmas classics. The Peanuts Holiday Collection, which I watch every single year. Another one I watch every single year, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Oh, I'm doing these out of order. Daredevil Season 1. Again, don't know why they didn't release the other ones, but whatever. The complete series of Firefly, which I haven't even watched, but I hold on to it because I heard that show is incredible. Ugh. Alright, this one's kind of cursed, considering the show, but the first season of Game of Thrones, which I haven't seen. The second season of Game of Thrones, which I haven't seen. The third season, which I have seen. And the 6th season, which is probably the last season I'll ever get. I mean, I might get Season 4, but, like, I have zero ambition to watch that show again, especially considering the way it ended. So, if I just hold off on that, for a while, I'm perfectly fine with that. I have like no motivation right now to watch any Game of Thrones, really. All right, last few here, guys. Last few, I promise. Last few. The first season of The Haunting of Hill House, which excited to see how Bly Manor is going to be. I think they have a lot of potential there. I'm excited to see how that goes. Legion Season 1. Again, they never put the others on Blu-ray. I don't know why. The one that I'm most proud to own, the third season of The Leftovers, which, I mean, I could go on about this all I want. You guys know it's my favorite TV show, and I'm so happy to own this one. Wish it wasn't such a bare-bones fucking release, but, it's all good. One day that show will get the love it deserves. Mr. Robot Season 2, which I'm actually going to get the complete series set very soon, but for now I only have Season 2. The Night of, Outlander Season 1, and Outlander Season 2. Still got to get Season 3, and I am going to catch up on that show, guys. I promise I will catch up. The complete series of Penny Dreadful. Very excited for City of Angels. And the last one here is Stranger Things, the first season. It looks like a VHS tape, and it's wonderful. You open it up, it looks like a VHS tape. You got the 2 discs, and that's that. I don't know why I don't own Season 2 yet. Oh my god. Not gonna lie, guys, that was pretty exhausting for sure. I love going through all my Blu-rays and things like that, but Jesus Christ, do I own a lot. But if you guys have stuck around this long, I very much do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm trying to deliver as much content as I possibly can, and this is just something that I've actually wanted to do for a while, and I just figured I have the time, you guys have the time as well, so I might as well just do it now. But that's really it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought of any of these Blu-rays. What Blu-rays do you guys have? What Blu-rays are you guys watching to keep yourselves occupied and all that kind of stuff? That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in my next video, and then we'll see you guys for that. But stay safe out there, of course, guys. Wash your hands. Practice social distancing, all that kind of stuff, so we can make sure this goes as smoothly as it possibly can. All right, bye.